All right, and going to interrupt the Red Hot Chili Peppers here because it is time for the Community Spotlight program. Chris Higgins in the studio, and this morning we have two members of the Time Out Shelter here to share with us about the Time Out Shelter and the role of the Time Out Shelter and what's happening with the organization, and to talk about the thrift store as well. So I'd like to welcome CEO Trish Klaver and the thrift store manager Debra Crawford. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have the different organizations that are in the town. There's so many great nonprofits, and Time Out Shelter, one of them, and the service that you provide the community is, I want to say, kind of unfortunately a needed service.
Very much so.
But it is so crucial that we have an organization like Time Out to do what it does. So how about, Trish, you tell us a little bit about the role of Time Out Shelter.
Time Out in our community. The Time Out Shelter opened its doors in October of 1993.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been in operation here in Payson for close to 30 years now.
Wow.
And what the Time Out Shelter provides is a safe sanctuary from abuse and domestic violence for survivors of domestic violence. We operate a 28-bed shelter here in Payson, and we also provide services to the community. We call community clients. So you don't necessarily have to come into shelter to receive services. You can receive those services as a community member as well. We operate a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week crisis line that you can call in if you or anyone you know needs to get more information, or if you are in crisis and need to come into shelter. We have a staff of well-trained advocates, they're called, and those will be the folks that provide direct services to those in need of our help. If they're experiencing, abuse and they need to get away from that situation, they can call into our crisis line. And I'll just give you the phone number.
Yes, that'd be great.
And you can share that with anyone that you think needs that assistance. The number is 928-472-8007. And that it will get you directly to an advocate that can help you obtain the services that you need. And we've also, just this year, we set up a mobile and text line.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of folks tend to like to text more now rather than making that phone call. So we have a dedicated mobile line that you can call or text to 928-978-4081.
Okay. So again, that is a mobile or text number. So if somebody, as you said, didn't want to make a phone call, but they felt more comfortable or were only able to text.
Right, because sometimes you can't get that opportunity to make a phone call because your abuser may be able to hear you do that. And if you can get to a private location or away from the situation and make that text, our advocates will be monitoring that dedicated mobile line.
Wow.
To respond to those inquiries as well.
Well, that is great to know. And also, I did forget, but to introduce Ashland, our intern here this morning. Good morning, Ashland. And I know, some days I get it, some days I don't. I did remember, though, just a few minutes into it, but so it's a delayed memory.
Okay, well, hello.
Yeah, better than just memory that's
just
totally
completely
gone.
forgot me.
Yeah, no. So
much better.
It was actually because you sneezed.
Oh, thank you. I didn't say bless you.
I'm
Still here.
joking. I know. It's like, bless you. Oh, Ashland. No, I'm joking. It's great having Ashland here in that program sponsored by MHA Foundation. So it's wonderful that she's able to be in here and throwing around different ideas and some fun stuff that I think we'll be able to do. Again, talking with Trish Klaver, CEO of Time Out Shelter, and Debra Crawford, the Time Out Thrift Store manager. And thrift store, just real quickly for those that aren't familiar with the thrift store, where is it located?
It's in the Batches Shopping Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's right next to the pizza factory.
Oh, okay, and most people know where Pizza Factory
Yes.
is.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. And the thrift store, that's a big part of the timeout shelter, and the timeout shelter being able to do what it does. So.
Absolutely. So all of the proceeds from the thrift store
Mhm.
come directly to the shelter
Mm.
and stay right here in Payson to help us operate our emergency shelter.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you donate to the thrift store, the things that we sell,
Mm-hmm.
that revenue it does not go to a corporate location outside of the area. It comes straight to the shelter.
Mm. Oh, that is great.
And I'd like, you can expand on.
Donations. Yeah.
Donations, yes.
Yes, we love the donations we get. We couldn't operate without them. Our donation hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
We've expanded those because we're just getting inundated.
Okay, and that's
Yeah.
Tuesday through
Yes.
Saturday, and the times again?
8:30 to 2:30.
8:30 to 2:30. Now, before the program, we were talking a little bit about how critical it is that people do drop off items during those times, because you shared with me examples of people dropping items off, feeling and thinking that, okay, we're donating and this will go to the timeout shelter, it has value, it'll help them, but it was outside those hours, and then when they maybe check with you to verify you got it, you didn't receive it.
Right, because if they're dropping off when we're not open,
Mm-hmm.
they leave it out there with great intentions, but other people come by and they say, wow,
Look at this.
look at this, I think I'll
Yeah.
take this home, and so that well-meaning donation, we never receive,
Mm.
so.
That's why, again, it is critical to donate your items during those times, donation times, which again is Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 to 2:30. And it's great that you're receiving items on Saturday. So if people are working during the week and they're not able to, do that on their lunch break, or, they get off work after that, there's always that opportunity on Saturdays.
Absolutely, and we always have one or two attendants out there to receive and help people with their items out of their car.
Mm-hmm.
They just pull up and there we are. We
Mhm.
have plenty of bins and tables we put
Mm-hmm.
the items on, so.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, Debra, volunteers. They're a really big part of not only the Time Out Thrift Store, but I imagine the entire organization. How much they do.
Absolutely, there is no difference to me whether it is an employee or a timeout volunteer.
Mm.
We all work so hard.
Mhm.
We have fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's never a dull moment because you never know what's going to come in,
Mm-hmm.
and we couldn't operate without them.
Mm-hmm.
So I am thrilled that we are having more come now. We lost a lot during COVID.
Mm.
We have new volunteers coming back, so
Mhm.
that helps us immensely.
Mm.
Yes.
That's great. And with Ashlyn being here, having our student intern, it made me think age. Do you have to be 18 to volunteer, or can younger people possibly volunteer as well?
Well, I have had a few through the high school where
Yes.
they need the credits,
Oh.
and they come in and they want to work maybe 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2 days in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then that goes towards their credits in high school.
Wow.
So absolutely.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
And we-
anyone's interested, they
Yeah.
can call our numbers
Yeah.
and then we'll refer them to Deb and
Yeah.
kind of get them in touch.
Absolutely.
And with our volunteer coordinator, Patty,
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
and she can help get them onboarded, and
mhm. And for,
we'd love to have
and for
them.
the younger ones, we always have a volunteer employee shadow them. So
Mhm.
they're not just there filling
Yes.
time, they're actually learning something and enjoying themselves.
Oh.
Very much so, yeah.
Hey,
We've enjoyed the high schoolers that have come in.
Look at that. Enjoy the
Awesome.
high schoolers, Ashlyn.
We do.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, they're fun. You know, it's
Yeah.
all new and it's like, you know, a bright shiny toy.
Yeah.
Right, we love that energy that
Yes.
they bring
Yes.
on, and
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
physical
That's-
capabilities that we
Yeah.
may lose later on.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
And I have to ask, have you been in the Time Out thrift store ever by Pizza Factory?
Yeah, I
Really?
have.
Uh-huh.
I used to have a friend who would volunteer.
Oh,
Yeah, so I would come visit her sometimes.
oh, that is cool. Yeah, it's I know when the thrift store moved over there, just having the extra room and how it was laid out, it looks great. You've done a
It
wonderful
does.
job.
looks
It
really good.
really looks great. And in between the Pizza Factory and the main store is our collectible store, which is lovely. Absolutely lovely. All our finer things, collectibles, antiques, they all go in there. And Lois runs it. And she's incredible. She
Wow.
knows so much about that. And
Yeah.
delightful. Just
Yeah,
absolutely
there's
delightful.
some really cool items in there.
Mhm.
And
Always.
it's a nice little
Yes,
space.
yes.
Mhm.
So
And
it's
I
worth it
might
just to
add
come see.
that we opened on March 16th of
Uh-huh.
2001, and we've decided that the first Friday of each month, when we do 50% off the regular store, we are also now doing 50% off collectibles,
Oh, wow.
and that's new
Ooh.
for
Oh.
people.
There we go.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to go check that out.
Yes, you will.
I love that collectible room.
so
It's
you
very nice.
mentioned donation times or drop-off times.
Mhm.
Again, the drop-off times for the Time Out Shelter Thrift Store
Mhm.
are Tuesday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Mhm.
How about store hours?
Our store hours are from Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4.
Okay, great. So Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4. Again, it's wonderful that you're open Saturday. So for people that are working, if they're not able to get over there on a break, they can go on Saturday and
Absolutely.
check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really good. So one of the, I guess, projects, and a pretty big project that the Time Out Shelter has been working towards and working on for a while is a new facility.
Absolutely. Yeah, we as you have likely heard and seen our fundraisers around town, we've been attempting to raise funds to build a new shelter for about 3 years now. We're in an aging facility. The home is getting older, it needs constant repairs and updating, you know, so our goal is to build a new shelter on the same property that we already have. And recently we received a real bump up to our capital funds for this project from the Canals family. Dalton and Elaine Canals have been longtime supporters of Time Out through both personally and through their foundation. They also have a family foundation that supports Time Out as well. Mr. Canals recently passed away in mid-December, unfortunately, but before he passed, he was thinking of our well-being, and that was just amazing. He met with his family, and he wanted to know how he could be assured that Time Out's project could proceed, and that Time Out would be okay, he said. And so
Wow.
they decided to donate $250,000 towards our building fund, which was incredible. We were all quite overwhelmed to receive that check. There was a lot of tears that day
Oh, man,
because of
imagine.
the emotions that were, you know, just thinking of someone, thinking of our organization in that, during that time of their life was so touching. And so that $250,000 did put us up to the goal level that we needed to begin planning in earnest, where it gives us enough to break ground, and likely to complete our phase 1 of the project that will be the
Okay.
main dormitory area. We will have to continue to raise funds, however, so you'll be seeing our capital fundraisers being advertised. And we hope that everyone will participate. Like there is another golf tournament planned at the Payson Golf Club in May. I believe it's May 14th. They're gonna have that. So we're gonna continue to raise funds so that we can complete the project. But this does give us the leg up to really begin, and we have great plans being formed for that.
Oh, that is amazing. I mean,
It was
such
amazing.
a blessing.
Yes.
Wow. To Time Out Shelter and to the community.
It was an inspiration to me, just to know that Mr. Canals was thinking of Time Out Shelter,
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So another way that people can donate or contribute to the Time Out Shelter is through the Arizona Charitable Tax Credit.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about how that works?
Sure. Now, Time Out Incorporated is a 501c3 IRS designated nonprofit,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also an Arizona qualifying charitable organization,
Mm-hmm.
to which you can donate your Arizona charitable tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is dollar for dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So any amount you owe to the state, you can write that, you can consult with your accountant that's doing your taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and fill out that IRS form to make that qualifying charitable organization donation instead of paying it to
The
the
state.
state.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you were allowed to do $400 per individual, and it is $800 per couple
Mm-hmm.
that you can donate to a qualified charitable
Mhm.
organization like Time Out.
Like Time Out.
Yes.
And it is worth mentioning that not all 501c3s are part of this program.
Are part of those qualifying charitable organizations,
Yes.
but we are
But-
in, as are many in the community.
Mhm.
So, and you don't have to give it all to one organization, you
Mhm.
can split that up as well.
Mm-hmm.
$200 here, $200 to this other organization. So, we support, at Time Out, we support all of our nonprofits here
Mm-hmm.
in the Payson area.
Yes, and it's a great way for that money to come back to the community, because as you
Mhm.
said, that money is going to be paid,
Mhm.
and
Regardless.
if charitable organizations aren't selected, then it goes to the state.
Mhm.
But if you do select a charitable organization like Time Out Shelter,
Mhm.
or that's a great idea that, splitting it up.
Share
So
it.
if there, are 2 or 3 organizations that you really want to help in the community, you can identify all 3 of them or 2
Sure.
of them. But then it comes back to the community and
It
helps.
does, and it empowers the taxpayer to direct the funds, their tax dollars, to
Mhm.
organizations that they believe in or that they want to support. So it gives you that power that, as the taxpayer you have
Mhm.
to do
And-
that.
And
So
now,
that's kind of interesting.
this can be done up until what date?
You can make your charitable tax donations
Mm-hmm.
up until the end of tax filing. For the year 2021, our deadline is April 15th of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't cut off at December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
You can continue to make those up until April 15th.
Mm-hmm.
I'd recommend consulting with your tax preparer or your accountant,
Mhm.
for advice on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you are allowed to continue to make those up until a tax filing is done.
Great. So you mentioned fundraising efforts, different events. Is the next event going to be the golf tournament?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
That is in the planning stages now.
Mhm.
We had one last year, which was a
Mhm.
lot of fun.
Yes.
It was a great event, and we hope everyone will participate once again.
Uh-huh.
There's some great plans in the works, and as you know, it was at the Payson Golf Course. It'll be there again,
Mhm.
off of Country Club Drive here.
Mhm.
So that should be something to watch out for our fundraisers. So
Mhm.
that will help us to actually meet our goal to complete a new shelter.
A new shelter.
Yeah,
Wow,
so that's exciting things.
It is.
Yes, and so any of that, the tax credits, our fundraisers,
Mhm.
our store,
Mhm.
we operate off of some government grants, federal grants that we work
Mhm.
off of, but we depend a lot on public support.
Mhm.
So we hope that folks will continue that.
Mm-hmm. And it's great. There are a lot of different ways to support the Time Out Shelter.
Mhm.
So that is good. Again, the thrift store hours, just want to mention those. They are Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and drop-off times, and they appreciate all the donations. And you guys get great donations too.
We get
Absolutely.
amazing donations,
Mhm.
absolutely amazing.
And do you provide a pickup service if
Yes,
people
we do,
cannot? Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, and how does that work?
call the store and
Okay.
we will schedule it. There is no charge for picking up your donations at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is the store number?
The
that you
store
call?
number, off the top of my head, I don't know it.
I know, I didn't
And-
write that one down
And
either.
I am sorry,
Um,
I will get it.
We
Look-
are listed, look, Google that.
We are listed.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on my cell phone.
It is,
No.
it's Time Out Thrift Store.
But I never call it because I'm always there.
I know. No, or, I mean, it gets to a point where, remember when we used to remember phone numbers?
Yes.
Mhm.
And now with
It's
phones,
stored.
it's
in our
like,
phone.
yeah, we don't remember phone numbers like we used to.
Mhm.
And I was just looking to see if there was a Facebook page for the thrift store.
We don't, we just have one for the shelter, and we post items for the thrift store on that
Yes.
Facebook page.
Mhm,
So look for news about the thrift store on our Time Out Shelter page.
mhm.
We have a page and a group that you can become a
Gotcha.
member of on Facebook
Gotcha.
and look for news
Mhm.
on happenings, events.
And how about website? Do
Yes, you
yeah.
can get a lot of information from our website
Uh-huh.
at www.timeoutshelter.org.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a donate button on our website.
Mm-hmm.
You navigate up to the top right hand corner and click donate, and you can donate online, or you can find our address to mail donations to, which is P.O. Box 306 here in Payson, 85547.
Mm-hmm.
So that it would be helpful to go to our website, navigate that way. We also have our phone numbers available and
Gotcha.
crisis line information.
Mhm.
All right, and the thrift store number, and it's easy. Just Google Timeout Shelter Thrift Store, and it comes up. But that is 928-474-3989.
I also
So-
want to mention that we do have a donation box
Okay.
at the cashier.
Oh,
And also, we have people call in and you can donate over the phone as well,
oh wow.
taking debit and credit cards.
Mhm.
I do it often.
Okay.
People
Oh.
out of state, I get it everywhere, so
Mhm.
that's another way. If they don't want to drop a check in the mail, they can just
We
call the
can
store.
drop a check off with
They-
you, and she sends that over with the thrift
Mhm.
store
Right,
deposit each
Yeah.
night too.
Yeah.
So you make it very convenient for people and very
Absolutely,
easy
Yes.
for people.
absolutely.
Again, if you have donations that you would like to get picked up by the Timeout Shelter Thrift Store, that number is 474-3989. And wow, that's a great service. And want to give that 24-hour crisis line again, because I think that's very important to get that number
We
out there.
do, and we encourage people to share that with folks they might think just need our help. You
Mhm.
know, maybe they don't need it, but they know someone they could just provide the phone number to.
Mm-hmm.
So they can call, the area code is 928, of
Mhm.
course, and it's 472-8007.
And then the mobile or text number.
Mobile and text number would be 928 area code,
Mhm.
978-4081.
That's
And that is monitored by our trained advocates. They are trained in domestic violence, trauma-informed care.
Mhm.
Their first priority is to provide the safety and security, both physically and emotionally, to survivors of domestic violence.
Well, I just am very glad that you and all of the other people involved with Timeout Shelter, all the other employees, volunteers, board
Our board
members,
members are
just
very
everyone
supportive,
that is involved. There are quite a few people that you are doing what you do because it is such a critical service to the community.
It definitely is.
And I know we'll maybe give a shout out also to our Payson Police Department, because I know you work closely with Chief Tischer, Lieutenant Hazelow, and other members of the police
We
department as
do.
well.
We appreciate our police department so much, and the chief is so accessible. If we need something, they are so responsive to us, and we have to work in that partnership because they're the first responder to a situation where there's domestic violence, and that's actually one of the most dangerous calls that they can receive, and the dread they have in responding to those, because they know the emotions are high. So when there's emotion involved in anger, and the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
it can be very volatile for our responders. So we
Mhm.
appreciate them very much, and they know that we are available. They have someone somewhere to
Mhm.
call, and they can bring, those that need our help. They have
Mhm.
somewhere to bring them.
Yes.
So I think that's very critical as well.
Again, thank you to Trish Klaver, CEO
Thank you.
of the Time Out Shelter,
Thank you.
and the Time Out Shelter Thrift Store Manager, Debra Crawford.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
this.
for coming in, and thank
been a
you,
pleasure.
Ashland, for being here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
You.
You love it. You love it.
I
Come
do
on.
love it. I
You
love
do
it.
love it. It's yeah. No, it is good. It's great having you in here. So thank you, and thank you everyone for listening and watching on the KRIM FM Facebook page. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And now it's time for our weather here in the Rim Country, brought to you by the National Weather Service.
Forecast for Payson and
There we
Tampa.
go.
Oh,
You made
we
it.
survived.
Thank you. Hopefully I didn't
You made it
stumble
really
too
easy.
much.
Oh.
I told you, I said they will make it very easy for you
Yeah.
Thank
because
God.
it's just kind of, I just pretend like you're talking to